Tremble, humans! You face the awesome might of Gromo!
Somebody help us! The mighty Tentacles is attacking the city! All is lost!
That's right! Gromo will destroy all...
Wait. Tentacles? That isn't my name.
Blah! Say goodbye to your roller rink, pathetic humans, for I, Tentacles, will crush it.
I know that voice. Hey, Tentacles, are you destroying the city too?
Is that? It is. Gromo, how you doing? It's been ages.
Yeah, last time I saw you, we were...
Destroying Tokyo.
Tokyo!
Yeah, we do that a lot. Oh, great city, though.
Beautiful city. But, been there, done that, so I thought I'd give this place a try.
Well, it's good to see you. Hey, guess who else is here? Hey, Smaculon, come say hi to Gromo.
Gromo? Hey, look who it is. So, what brings you knuckleheads to my fair city?
Your city?
Yeah, I live here. In fact, I was hatched here.
Oh, Smack, I didn't realize. Sorry, we've been making a bit of a mess.
That's fine. The place could use a little restructuring, a little redecorating.
Tentacles and I were just reminiscing about Tokyo.
Love Tokyo, love sushi.
Oh, we all love it, but so many giant monsters go there. It's good to get out of Japan once in a while, just see the world. Hang on, I want to throw this bus.
This is Video Vulture!
Hi, welcome to Video Vulture. I'm your host, John Tebbutt, and with me is Cody Cook and Tom Bagley.
Hola.
And today we're going to be talking about Kaiju, or giant monster films, a genre beloved in Japan, really kind of made the genre their own, but not exclusively Japan.
Nope.
We're going to talk about some of the films from farther afield, from other countries. I think the very first origins were from outside Japan, actually.
Yes, they were. I'm going to talk about 3 films that were directed by a guy named Eugene Laurie. And he started pretty much kicked the modern kaiju film into gear with a film in 1953 called Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which was sort of the first starring film for Ray Harryhausen, who was a special effects master, stop motion.
Yeah, and he went on to be like one of the biggest guys in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Still love his effects.
Oh yeah, everybody loves Ray Harryhausen. But,
Yeah,
this was sort of his first feature where he got star billing for the effects. And all 3 of Laurie's films have a very similar plot. There's a monster is resurrected by atomic stuff.
Which sounds familiar.
Yeah, in this case it's in the Arctic, and this giant made-up dinosaur called a Rhedosaur wakes up, causes trouble, and eventually goes down to its old spawning grounds, which just happens to be Manhattan.
Oh.
So, and it's spreading. There's sort of a disease thing because it's pretty cool. There's like a disease element to it. So it's like people are getting ill from this prehistoric.
And when was this one?
1953. So
this predates all the Ishihiro Honda
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, by 1 year because that was 54.
So,
But even his stuff that had like the Matango and everything, that's after this.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So an influence maybe on the Japanese community.
Yeah, definitely. I think they saw that and said we could do one of these. But this one's kind of unique because it is a stop motion creation. And then 1959, Eugene went and did a movie over in England called The Giant Behemoth, or Behemoth, however you say it, Behemoth. And it's a very similar plot. This one, it's off the Cornish coast. There's atomic testing once again. Wakes up a giant lizard, which was designed by, this one was animated by Willis O'Brien, who did King Kong, so it's not quite as good as the Harryhausen one, because
Willis O'Brien's no slouch, man.
well, no, but the budget was a little chintzier. And he shows up in London burns London with the radioactive eyes. And then he almost did a direct remake with a few things a couple of years later in 1961 called Gorgo.
Yeah.
Gorgo. And it's a departure because it is a suit. It's like a Godzilla suit.
It's a straight up Godzilla style with the miniatures and the guy in the suit.
Yeah.
And there's multiple suits in it.
But it's got a great plot because it's they capture this monster off the it's like coast of Ireland, and it's destroyed a fishing village, and they use this tanker to haul it back to London and put it into a circus. They don't realize that it's a baby, and the mother comes looking for it, and the mother's like 5 times as big as little baby Gorgo.
Spoiler.
Gonna spoil, total spoiler here, trashes London, and the monsters do not die at the end. That's like the only movie I've ever seen from that era where the monster doesn't die. So, and there's this beautiful scene of them walking off into the water together as the end credits.
Heartwarming.
It's beautiful. It's a
heartwarming.
beautiful film. Looks great. It's full
I
color.
have the 35mm trailer.
Yeah, it's a very cool looking film.
Thanks, Tom.
And what are you bringing to the monster table, Cody?
I have the 1967 South Korean film Yongary or Yongary, directed by Kim Ki-duk, who was a very famous Korean filmmaker, one of their most respected and successful filmmakers at the time. He did all different types of genres and then decided to dip his toes in the giant monster film. And this was actually one of the first giant monster films out of Korea. So they had to get the Japanese technical crew from Godzilla to come and help do the costume and the miniature work and everything because they didn't actually know what they were doing. So, and the guy who did the Gamera suit actually made the Yongary suit, but the director actually didn't like how the suit looked. But they had ran out of budget, so they just had to keep it. But it's actually a really cool kind of monster outfit. The special effects are really good in it. It looks very reminiscent of like Godzilla and Gamera and everything. And it has more of a Gamera vibe. It's more for like kids. It's like a kid-friendly movie, whereas Godzilla at the time, not necessarily, where Gamera films definitely are.
They're little kids.
And that's more in line with Korean films, was very family-friendly versus like the Japanese stuff. So, and
Gamera was the giant flying turtle, for those of you who don't remember.
yes,
It was made by Dai.
yeah,
Not Toho.
Not Toho.
So it's a little cheaper looking monster.
but still good. Gamera films are really good. So, in Yongary, it's same thing. There's an atomic testing in the Middle East, and awakens this giant monster, Yongary, from the deep, but not from the deep seas, actually in the desert that he comes out, and then goes to destroy Seoul, and he absorbs energy as like a food. So he's going to like stomp around to absorb like fire and stuff like that. And while he's doing it, this young kid is watching him and becomes obsessed with him and starts following him around while he's destroying everything. And then at one point he actually like fires this itching ray at the monster, an itching ray at the monster.
Why are those in every movie?
I know. I don't even know how this kid has an itching ray, but that happens. So Yongary starts scratching and he starts dancing, and then the kid starts doing the twist with him.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
yeah, Yongary, yeah, and they're dancing like ridiculous. But to go off of that, it is in English, this version. This is the Kino Lorber version. It's the only release available. There isn't actually a South Korean print. So
Wow.
it was lost.
So just the dub was the
There's
only
just the dub. And it was, I believe, American International did the dub. So then when it was screened back in South Korea, it had a big theatrical run when it came out. It was very successful, this movie. But then after, when it came back, it was actually in English with Korean subtitles, which was kind of odd. And now the only way to watch it is this version. The Korean Film Institute has a 45-minute uncut Korean version, but the print was so badly damaged that it's almost unwatchable. So this technically is the only way to watch it. It's a great film. It actually, ambiguous ending where Yongary doesn't potentially die. So he dies and then bleeds out, but then they say like, oh, we're gonna fly him off to another planet. And you're like, I thought he died, but maybe he didn't. So there's another kaiju film where the monster
Yeah.
doesn't.
Ambiguous
Very
endings to
cool.
those films, yeah.
But yeah, it's great. 67, cool special effects, and it's really cool to see South Korea do a kaiju film before, because they did a few films after this. But this was essentially like, technically their first one. There was two more before this, but they're not really this style kaiju films. So.
Right. And didn't North Korea make a kaiju film?
Yes, they did.
Which is way too much to get into.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, maybe they'd learn their lesson and they should take care of their monsters, and then they would not have to have a foreign version of their
Right?
film in their vault, right? And of course, John is going to do Reptilicus.
What? No?
Aw.
No, why would I?
Why-
No. No, I'm going to talk about Warlords of Atlantis, 1978.
Interesting.
Okay, this movie has never been released on home video or streaming in North America at all, but there's some clips we're going to show you, and it's this is wild. This is British. Doug McClure was doing a whole bunch of movies where he like hunts dinosaurs with a rifle around this period of time, and he does it again in this one. It's loads of monsters. Right off the bat, they get into this diving bell, and it's one of the rare movies that features a diving bell to this extinct. You don't see them.
Well, Gorgo has one.
Oh well, cool. Yeah. So carry on.
Well, we have a theme going.
I think there's diving bells in all three of them.
Well, at the time, I was like,
well, it was out of
bell.
Yeah.
And it was an open bottom diving bell, so they get a peekaboo monster. So they're going down in the depths of the ocean, and a monster just like pops its head through the floor, like, and then it scares them and goes away. And Doug McClure kind of like angrily pounds on the mirror on the window.
Yeah.
Wow, you
Get away.
And the British guy who's with him is like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Oh, have some manners.
Come on,
Yeah.
we made friends with the monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few more times, monster's like, peekaboo comes up and goes back out again. They're freaking out. It rips Doug's sleeve off at one time, so he's got to do the rest of the movie with a raggedy sleeve.
So, and that's his one good arm too, right, with all the veins.
They have a line like he's like, oh no, he's coming back for more, and I'm thinking, more sleeves?
Yeah.
Is he gonna eat a sleeve? And
You got a taste.
yeah, at one point, the diving bell has a telephone that rings. I mean, obviously it's not a telephone, but it's totally a telephone. And it rings, and they answer
like
it.
underwater?
Yeah, in the diving bell ring, and they're like in the middle of a monster attack. And it's just like, shh, yeah, hello, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
$200 a
insane.
day plus expenses.
And he does the old, well, I like to keep the monster will go away thing. But that's not the only monster, because a giant octopus attacks the ship.
And is it real like stock footage?
No,
it's all
they got a
monsters.
good rubber
Yeah.
prop, and
That's
it's
how you do it.
I think it's like Derek Meddings or somebody like that was the
and,
effects guy, I think.
and Cliff from Cheers is like screaming old timey curses at this thing while it's like trying to grab it.
Wow.
And then they go down. Yeah, they go
That's a
down
cast.
to the underground city of Atlantis. And that's the boring part, because it's just a bunch of people in bad wigs and snotty accents going, oh, you wouldn't understand our advanced civilization. We are so more perfect than you. Yeah. And then you're just waiting for another monster, but they got a bunch. There's a big slime, a swamp monster comes up squirting oil. Waving his tiny
In
little
Atlantis?
wings. In Atlantis.
Okay.
Yeah, then the Atlantis fortress is being assaulted by a bunch of Godzilla-sized, like iguana creatures permanently ill.
Is that stock footage?
No, that's rubber
No
creature.
way.
Yeah, and they're fighting them off with like old pirate cannons. And they're doing the whole like flying backward. And then they run out of cannons, they just like throw rocks and sticks at it. And then on the way out, they get attacked by flying fish, just a little bunch of, and then they fight the giant octopus again. It's amazing.
So why has this never had a home video?
I
release?
have no idea. I'm sure I saw it in a theater in 1978.
So they did get a
so
theatrical.
Oh yeah, I saw it in a
release,
theater in Calgary. But I'm
What theater?
all I have is like a few YouTube clips and my raggedy memory. But I'm sure 70% of it is just dull, boring stuff about Atlanteans talking about their civilization. But
Yes,
some awesome monster stuff.
Yeah.
Most kaiju films are like that. where
There's a lot of talk.
Yeah, you put up with
put
that.
a lot of the human talking and human drama, and you're just like, let's get to the next monster.
Yeah, but this one has a whole kind like they get attacked by the octopus because it's protecting the gold statue. So kind of like in Beowulf, they stole an item they shouldn't have. They take a piece of gold, and the octopus is like, no, you're not. Got that, taking it, gonna hit you with it.
Is there a romantic subplot?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's a pretty lady down in Atlantis, as there
Of
always
course.
is. And
There's a romantic subplot in mine too.
Yeah, there is none in. There's not even any.
Yeah.
There's not even any female actors in that. But the main monster is female, so it's like.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Kaiju can be many things.
And that means there was a romantic subplot just off camera.
Ew. The hell.
Some kaiju.
We're not talking about that movie.
Hey, I want to go sit on the Saddle Dome.
Ooh, me too.
It's not all that comfortable, but go ahead. We all do it. We call it the Straddle Dome.
Straddle Dome. Thanks for watching Video Vulture.